Hi, my name is Alexandra Richie, and I'm going to be your lead historian on the journey down the magnificent Elbe River. The Elbe River is an extraordinary place, but it's very little known because it was the East German and West German border during the Cold War, and it was impossible to travel there. But of course that all changed with 1989, and now we're able to go from Berlin to Prague. We're going to be sailing on the magnificent Elbe Princess, a newly built ship which is extremely comfortable and luxurious and will take us in style. We start the journey with an optional pre-cruise tour of Hitler's nerve center, the city of Berlin. We go to a number of important sites that have to do with the Second World War, including the Villa at Wannsee, where Reinhard Heydrich had a meeting where he finalized the meeting for the final solution, the mass murder of European Jews. We also go down to Potsdam, where we actually stand in the hall where the Potsdam Conference took place, where the borders of post-war Europe were finalized. The first stop on the cruise begins in the great city of Magdeburg. Has a long, long history, was one of the most important cities in the Holy Roman Empire. Of course, it was destroyed twice in its life, once in the Second World War. It was also the birthplace of Heinrich von Treitschkow, who was one of the most important anti-Hitler resistance fighters in the Second World War. The next stop is perhaps one of the most important on our tour, because it's the city of Torgau, which is where, on the 25th of April, 1945, Soviet soldiers from the 1st Ukrainian Front met up with American soldiers for the very first time, the 69th Infantry Division. And it's a celebration which has now come to be known as Elbe Day. We'll see the pier in the bridge, the last one remaining, which was blown up in 1945 with refugees trying to stream across. And in this chaos, the American and Soviet soldiers met for the first time during the Second World War. We next visit the magnificent city of Dresden, which of course was infamously bombed in February 1945. Kurt Vonnegut was an American prisoner of war who was being held in a meat locker nearby, and he actually witnessed the bombing, which he wrote about in Slaughterhouse 5, and we're going to go and see the site of Slaughterhouse 5. We're also going to go to the magnificently restored Frauenkirche in the center of Dresden, and also the Bundeswehr Museum, which is an extremely interesting exhibition about both the First and the Second World War. We now cross the border into the Czech Republic, past the massive banks where the Königstein Fortress is and was a prison during the Second World War, and then we move toward Theresienstadt, which of course was one of the most infamous camps of the Second World War because it was set up as a quote-unquote model camp. In other words, the Germans tried to make it look as if the concentration camps were almost like holiday homes for prisoners, which in fact was a complete lie. Our final destination is the magnificent city of Prague, which really speaks for itself. But we'll be there to learn about Czechoslovakia under Nazi occupation. We'll also learn about the assassination of Reinhard Heydrich and the consequences of that, and also about the uprising in Prague in 1945. This is going to be a very moving and magnificent trip through the heart of Central Europe and World War II history. We're going to start in Berlin, the rise to power of Hitler, and we're going to actually see where the American and Soviet soldiers met up on the Elbe in 1945. So please come and join us for a wonderful and luxurious cruise in the style and comfort that you've come to expect from World War II cruises.